Welcome back to another long overdue episode of Film Breakdown. Today, we're going into Hong Kong cinema with Limbo.
Hell yeah. We watched Limbo directed by Soi Chang. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. But,
I hope so too.
Not great with Chinese names. This is a relatively unknown one, I think. It came out in 2021, and it features kind of your classic veteran cop meets rookie cop who plays by the rules, and the veteran cop is a little bit, kind of takes some liberties with things.
Very hardcore, yeah.
And they're out to catch a serial killer, but the main cop, the veteran one, has a little bit of a tragic past, as his wife, who was pregnant, was killed in a car accident. And it just so happens that at the same time as this investigation, the girl that killed his wife was released from prison, and she kind of becomes involved in this investigation, kind of helps out the cops as they attempt to track down this serial killer.
Yeah, I actually love this one, even though it has a lot of flaws in story-wise, but the cinematography was so beautiful. Like, I've never seen garbage look goddamn gorgeous.
The amount of scenes in this movie that was just people sifting through trash kind of blew my mind. And the fact that it was all visually interesting at the same time lends a lot of credibility to both the cinematography and the choice to make this black and white. I was a little bit skeptical of the choice to make it black and white, but as the film slowly went on, I saw more and more justification and how it really just kind of enhanced the melancholy beauty of the city.
The black and white did not work well in daytime. That's for sure. It looked very like you didn't need it.
Yeah, I think this could have benefited from almost like a Blade Runner perspective, where the entire thing takes place at night. I think that would have been helpful.
But like once nighttime hit, god dang, that Hong Kong was beautiful, even though it was full of garbage. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, the production, it was very detailed. I don't know if they just happened to go into random alleyways and they just see a bunch of trash, or they imported a bunch of trash and set up these alleyways and these dilapidated buildings deliberately like this. But it really worked well for the movie and just showed the grime and the muck of the city and how you really had to get your hands dirty in it in order to drop yourself to the level of this killer to try and catch him.
Like, shout out to the team that worked on the sets for this, right? Like, every set piece had so much detail.
It must have been a pretty shit job.
Like, from background to some of the most creative shots we've seen too, like the overhead and how like people are kind of just maneuvering through right next to each other.
Totally
split up. Like, it was some of the best cinematography I've ever seen, bro.
It lends itself well to the action sequences too, which I think are reasonably well directed, although not necessarily popular. There's not a lot of them in the film, I would say. Narratively, though, there's definitely a lot to be desired from this film. Obviously, you have some of the kind of classic tropes of these buddy cop films, and I hesitate to use the word buddy cop because the two cops are not friends.
They were not homies.
They don't really end up friends by the end of the movie either, but they are kind of forced to work together. I think where some of my gripes might come from is the way that they handled the girl character who killed the cop's wife and daughter in the car accident. She endures some of the most consistent and punishingly brutal behavior that I have ever seen in any character in a film.
You really start to like empathize and just feel really bad for her towards the end.
The amount of times she is just shamed and beaten and threatened and raped, it is unbelievable.
It was insane. She endured so much. Like, insane amount. You're just like, can she catch a break? She couldn't.
No, she couldn't at all. At a certain point, it felt like a bit of a distraction just because it just happened so often, and you were almost expecting it at a certain point. Like, how bad is it gonna get now? And they just they top it every single time.
Yeah, that was like the one. I was like, yo. I was really hoping like they were gonna save her from the rape scene because like everything she's endured, I'm like, we don't need this rape scene.
You just gotta dial it back.
Damn. He went there and
you can kind of sympathize with how the main cop, because he's very brutal to her as well for most of the movie, and you can kind of sympathize with it to a certain degree. But I think they overplay it to the point where it's hard to be connected to that character, because he just doesn't become as sympathetic as he should be by the end.
Even her outcome in the story is still not really good. It's not a happy ending for her still.
Yeah, and it plays it off like it is kind of a happy ending, like a resolution to all of her problems. But I mean, if you think about any like ongoing trauma, it's going to be sustained for like her entire life.
Because in the movie, her motive is to help this cop, right? Because she feels bad for killing his wife, right? So she's doing whatever she can to help him, right? And then at the very end, this is a spoiler, she ends up killing him accidentally. You know, and it's understandable why she did it, you know, after being raped and, you know, kidnapped and, right?
Yeah,
fighting for her life.
This serial killer in the final fight scene, he's like superhuman. He has this crazy strength, and
that guy was
beating
insane.
up both cops, and he's hunting down this girl. So you can absolutely understand how she was just going to shoot the first person that she saw.
Right. So it's like you would pray like, oh, she would get saved or something. Like her whole outcome was like, oh, she ended up killing the guy. Not only did she kill his wife, she killed him too, right? And like at the end, she's just in the hospital bed, just destroyed.
Yeah,
there's no happy ending for her.
Show. I also thought it was strange how the shot in the hospital bed, they put it at the beginning of the movie too, and I'm not really sure why they did that.
Yeah. They hinted it. They hinted at his.
They had no introduction to the.
They hinted at his death too, right? Because
I know a lot of movies, like the typical trope is like you kind of put a scene that happens near the end of the film at the very beginning of it, just to kind of tease what's happening. I don't think this did a really good job of teasing.
No, it didn't need that beginning scene at all.
No. I agree.
It was absolutely useless.
Yeah, I did like some of the I guess idiosyncrasies of Hong Kong, like one of the rookie cop, for example, he loses his gun and he absolutely is determined to get it back, because Hong Kong is so strict. Like if you lose your gun as a cop, then you're probably going to get fired. Whereas
that was pretty realistic,
the punishment
right?
here, like in Canada, is not nearly as severe. So seeing some of the cultural contrast was quite cool.
Yeah, that movie really stayed true to like being like realistic. Besides fucking getting beat. A little girl like that's like 5'1", probably like 90 pounds wet, just getting destroyed by every dude in Hong Kong.
Yeah. I think overall it's kind of needlessly brutal. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. Decently plotted for the most part. I would have kind of liked to feel a little bit more of the serial killer's presence throughout the film. We only really kind of see it in the last third. But overall, I thought this was a decent detective thriller that not a lot of people would otherwise watch in North America, but probably deserves more attention than it's gotten.
It definitely should get a little bit more attention for cinematography wise. Right. But what did you give it?
I gave this a 3 out of 5. A little bit of a sour taste in my mouth narratively, but I mean, you can't deny the visuals are impressive.
I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, the cinematography was beautiful. Movie kind of made you want to recycle how much garbage there is, man.
Yeah, straight up.
Like it should have been #go green. How much garbage?
Yeah, I felt a lot more guilty as I was like throwing out my trash in my building jars. I was like, where does this go? Like, are we gonna breed another serial killer that just lives in my trash?
Yeah, man. Well, I guess that concludes this episode. I guess comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, be sure to come back for more reviews about batshit crazy cinema. We'll be right here to guide you along the way.
All right, see ya.